everybody. Tonight's a very special night for me. It is 6 p.m. Pacific time, and I'm talking to our Trish James,
Hi.
and she's in Australia. And what time is it there?
It is 11 a.m. on
11
Monday.
a.m.
Monday.
Monday.
Yes.
So there's a big time frame, but she feels like right close by, right next to
It's
me.
amazing how we can do this. Other
Yes.
side of the globe and come together.
I'll tell you, I've told Marianne at Revealing Light and Lena Rodriguez, who also is from Australia. My favorite movie ever was Muriel's Wedding.
Oh, a good old
From
Australian classic.
from Corpus Spit.
Yeah, it's a good old movie, that one. I've had a couple.
I really loved that movie. She's a great actress too, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
So, okay, listen. As you know, all you guys were writing me and writing me. First of all, the predictions deck. And I was dying to buy some from my friends. And it kept saying, people were saying, oh, she got them in, there's 90.
Yeah.
God forbid I waited till the next day to go on the site to buy it gone.
Yeah. The issue was I wasn't automated shipping, I was manual shipping. So I'm all automated now, but I was that was the physical amount that I could handle in one day of shipping, putting all those custom orders in, packing and doing all the data entry that goes with it. So that was the physical amount I could get done in one day. So, but now I'm fully automated with shipping. So just a matter of clicking a button, create label, it charges my bank account, and then I just drop them into bags and send them. So now I can
Wonderful.
open up the amount that can go out each day.
So give us the 411. What was your motivation, inspiration?
Well, it started 2009, so it was when I first started with and what the catalyst for that was is I'm a photographer. Was a photographer for 25 years. Used to be a film photographer, and then we transitioned over to digital. So it became digital cameras, and I did that probably in about 2006 or 7. And I
Uh-huh.
thought I'm going to have to learn to use Photoshop because it's a big part of digital photography. So I did courses on it, and then I started getting a little bit more creative with it and started using like doing really creative things and creating images for people.
Yeah,
So that's where it all started. And then I ended up going to uni and doing more advanced kind of creating. So to learn the shadowing techniques and all of that kind of stuff that goes into the Photoshop art. So that's where it started. It started because I needed that skill for my career, but it
right.
became my passion, what I love to do. And then from there, it started. I probably created my first deck in about 2011. I used to go and do the expos and sell decks. And
But
it's just,
but how did you know they would talk to us?
how did I know? Because of my intention. It's kind of like my obsession. It's like I think it's what I'm supposed to do. It's what I'm meant to do. And ever since I've been young, I started meditating about 20s, but my intention always was with spirit. Not only do I want enlightenment, but I want to help other people get enlightenment. Now, that means being able to see the truth. It means being have your eyes open and see the truth. So I didn't know exactly what that meant at the time. I was 20, but that was always my intention, not just for me, but for everybody. And then it all started with creating decks. So the intention I put in is that as you're using the decks, you're safe and protected. One thing I always put that visualization in, but you have your intuition increased as you're using it, but you receive enlightenment. So you receive the messages and you receive the visions. So that's my intention when I created it. It's a tool that we use with spirit. All psychics, we need tools. Some people don't, but it's a beautiful way to communicate with spirit.
I'll
But
say.
my intention behind that is for you to be have your intuition increase while you're using it and to be enlightened while you're using it. And I think
Uh,
that's where it comes from.
I do.
I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know. It's a spirit thing. So it's something that
Well,
comes from the other side. So I'm assuming that's how it happens.
right. What was your first step?
Oh, my first deck was a little black deck, probably um, smaller than the tarot size that I do now, and it had the messages up each side. So each side of the deck, I wouldn't have one now. That's so many years ago, but it had like the physical element. Then it had down the bottom was the spiritual element. So it was a card and it said, on a physical level, this is the meaning, this is the spiritual meaning. And I think it was like, this is the emotional meaning and this is the mental meaning. So it had a meaning all the way around. That was my very first deck. It was terrible, but it's all I could do
It
at the
was your
time.
motivator. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I used to take that to psychic fairs and sell that, and it used to sell out. And I think it's just it had to go where it had to go. But yeah, I've gone through a lot of creating and a lot of different ordering types of styles to get one that I'm really love, the quality
Right.
wise, I mean, the quality and the feel of the decks.
So did predictions deck come before? Was that the one of the first ones you did with the faces like that?
That was the first one that I done with the faces.
Because
So
you
it's
know your style reminds me of hold on, reminds me of Margaret Keane. Has anybody told you that?
no, it's I think it comes from 60s pop culture. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's lots. It's more like a 60s or 70s pop culture is where it, yeah,
I mean, it's
where it
not
comes from.
exactly at all, but I just bought the kitty cat one because it was hanging in my grandma's house and
Oh,
I lost it. So I went
gorgeous.
on eBay and found another one, but I love that look.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Me too. That's what I do. I'm really drawn to that look as well.
So, okay, so the prediction deck is the one everybody went wacko over.
Yeah.
And then I believe I mean, here's the predictions deck, sorry. Then I got the personal predictions that I'm still playing with. I haven't gotten used to yet.
That's actually my bestseller. Believe it or not, that one there is my bestseller.
Wow, I need to play
Above
with it some more.
above the predictions. And that one is my go-to. So if I have a question and I need a quick answer, that is my go-to. That's what
Okay,
I
I'll
use.
start using this one right away. And then I just got the governance oracle, which I'm still getting used to.
Yeah. And I love that one. I haven't been using it lately and I miss it. I want to get back to it. So looking forward to using that one today. But yeah,
Oh,
I do
good.
love that one. And I always find because I'm a bit of a sugar coder, I like to I'm a bit positive and nice about how I say things, but that one makes me just say it the way it is. It won't let me be sugarcoat anything. That's why that one's really good for me because it makes me be direct.
So I'm going to post your website, but
Okay.
people can make appointments with you.
I don't do personal ones at the moment because I'm still
Okay.
working on the decks. I'm actually doing a personalized deck for I think it's one of your people, Pat. I won't say her last name, but I'm pretty sure she came from your channel. So I just want to say hi, Pat. Your deck is so close to being completed and looking forward to that one
Oh, I
coming
saw
out.
you said if you want your own personal deck. I
Yeah,
wouldn't know how to approach that.
yeah, well, so Pat has given me like a list of her every t the title that she wants, what the meaning of that is, and then some ideas of what she kind of visions for the art. So, and yeah, I've just put it together. I sent her a bunch of samples, of what I kind of thought. She gave me a palette, like a color palette, which was fantastic because that's the biggest hurdle. Is number one is the color palette. So then I just worked on lighter versions of that color palette, darker versions of that color palette, and played with a couple of styles for what the overall, because you want to theme your deck out to have a certain look. You don't want to have mismatch. I've been there. It's like dog's breakfast. You want your deck to be really cohesive. So I sent her a couple of samples and she's just selected through all these different samples. And then we've just started firing off and working through. So that's been happening for quite a few months now. So
Wow.
we're on the last part of that one, but that one they take me about 3 to 4 months. So yeah, and then I've got the next one lined up after that, which will be a collaboration with an author. So I'm
Wow.
reading his book at the moment, and he's asking me to do the Oracle cards that go with the book for a bundle. So
Wow.
yeah, that will be, and that will take me up to the end of the
So
year.
you're like the artiste of the tarot world.
Yeah,
You're
yeah. So,
very
and I
good
just,
at
yeah,
that.
pull in the messages. For that one, it'll be messages coming from the book. And the image style will come from the book. So I've got that kind of marinating in the back of my mind as to what the style of that's going to be, but I'll send a bunch to him and he'll choose because it's obviously his creation and his vision for his book. So he'll choose what his vision is. But
You know,
yeah,
you
looking forward to that. So that's why I don't do the readings, personal
yeah,
readings. Yeah,
because you
yeah,
do
because I'm
well, I don't do personal readings anymore because I can't, I'm getting too old. But I noticed like you don't have any pamphlet or connection to these that explain the meanings?
There's a reason behind that. Now,
Yeah.
I do have PDFs available on the websites for those three main decks. So the governance, the personal predictions, and the world
Oh,
predictions.
I didn't see
There's a
that.
PDF that you can download on the website that will give you a detailed description for every card, if that's how you choose to read. But the way you read is the way that I read, and it's you tell the story. You use your
Yeah, because
intuition.
I've never been a professional tarot reader, and I just
Yeah.
say what hits me.
Yeah, that's how they're designed. They're designed to
I've
spark
told
your
people,
own
don't look at
intuition
my
and
cards, because if you have go by meaning of the card based on so and
oh,
so, you won't
it's
understand me.
and you know what? It's somebody else's interpretation of that card. So if you're reading off my writing, that's my interpretation of that card, not your interpretation of that card.
Exactly.
And I think you switch into logic. So when you start reading a guidebook, you're switching into logic mind and you're coming
Yeah,
out of your trance state mind. So that's why I prefer not to read from a meaning book and just stay in that trance state and intuition your way through it and tell your story. Yeah.
wonderful.
And that's how they're designed. So that's why I didn't have that
Oh,
book
they
when I,
tell a story. You open that card and it's
oh my
screaming
God.
at you.
Yeah. And they blow
Sometimes
you
it
away.
gives me the chills.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, me too. Me too. I've had times with some of those decks, and my Neptune Moon's another one that I work with on my other channel. It blows me away. I just think, wow, you out of 100 cards in a deck, and the ones that come out are the ones that clearly answer what you're talking about. When any card could have came out, it blows my mind how they work.
Right. But
Yeah.
sometimes I get so confused I can't fit when I get a new deck and I'm not sure of it yet.
Yeah, yeah. I find when that happens to me, I switch decks. So
Yeah. This is
yeah,
my go-to, the predictions deck. That's the one I can read.
I know I've seen you read with that one. Amazing. Yeah, it just comes out and it's just you're so connected. So
Yeah.
connected. I love it. And I love watching you read that deck.
Oh, thank you.
And you have no idea what it's like to create that and then to see someone like you reading that and just be so connected to it and get the answers that you do. I
But
just
listen, obviously, a lot of other readers are connecting too because I'm getting inundated with people. What's
yeah,
it? How do I get that deck? What's the name of that deck?
yeah,
I want
yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's busy. It as I said, it's my second biggest seller, that one. And
Wow.
the it's probably in line with the new connections. Usually the new ones that come up, they sell really quickly. So the connections deck, which is more about mediumship. So if you're wanting to develop your mediumship ability, it's
Yeah.
just a beautiful tool to help your self-confidence when it comes to tapping into to past loved ones on the other side and reading
Right.
mediumship readings. So that one's a beautiful deck for that one as well.
That's beautiful.
So that
So
will be the next one that I send to you because you don't have that in your collection yet.
I don't have it yet in my collection. Thank you for being
It's
so generous. Listen, we got to tell the story. We got a email from a lady that had three of your decks and she was flying from someplace. She's in the United States. I sent it to you.
I saw
And
amazing.
she got stopped at TSA and they were looking and they were really looking in the cards. This is FYI, you guys. And they were stretched and she's like, there's no bomb in there. And it was because of the way the cards are made that sort of gold side on it here, that was flagging them
Yeah, yeah. She said it was sending energy. It was sending
energy
energy.
out and they were all confused. Yeah, it wasn't really some material thing, it was
Yeah,
energy.
yeah.
And
That's
they
what she
couldn't
said.
figure out why they were getting the energy
Yeah,
yet.
and then she said, "Well, I do put energy, and I do. I put energy
Yeah,
into every card. Every deck has energy in it, and that's
yeah.
why you can feel that when you use them. It's not just a factory process. It's has energy in each deck, and it has its own resonance.
But she
But yeah,
got trapped there for a couple of hours, she said. She
ooh,
wanted to let me
poor thing.
know. And I said, oh, I'm going to tell you about it. I thought it was
Yeah,
fascinating.
I got a kick out of that story. I thought, wow, that's
That's
interesting.
cool. She had
Yeah, I
three
feel bad for
decks.
her that that happened to her, but yeah,
I know, I feel bad, but boy, she's
yeah.
got some energy.
Oh yeah.
So maybe we could just play a little bit on
Oh, for
the
sure.
cards.
Yes, I love a good play with the cards. I'm looking forward to using the
We'll
um
talk about a couple of inquiries. One that's really heavy on my mind. Um, there was a killing in Minneapolis, And the man's name, I had it. Now I don't have it. Hold on 1 second. I'll get his name. So on the morning of June 14th, very early morning, a man dressed as a police officer with a car with lights going came to the home of John Hoffman. He's a senator from Minnesota. He was shot along with his wife. Apparently, they're both alive in the hospital. Still in critical
Right.
condition, but they're alive. Then he went to Melissa Hortman, who used to be the Speaker of the House in Minnesota, and he shot. Well, this is what I heard. This is what they're saying, the story that because someone had dinner with her just before this happened. Amy Close, she ran for president. She's in the Senate in Washington, D.C. She jumped over her daughter to protect her from being shot.
Oh no.
So he killed her and killed her husband and
Oh,
shot her dog.
oh my God.
She
Oh my
had a
God.
Labrador that she absolutely loved, and he killed the dog too.
Oh, that's an awful
So
story.
we know he's crazy, okay? I
Yeah.
just want to know what the cards are saying. Which deck are you using?
I've got the governance deck to have a look, but I'm actually going to use my investigation deck because we're looking
Okay,
at
and I'll use the predictions deck.
a murder. I'm going to look at the investigation deck.
Okay.
So I've got the aggression card here, shows the aggressive nature of the attack, of the invasion. I've got the freedom card indicating that he is currently free, so he's running
Yes.
free at the moment. I've got a card about a well-funded operation, so indicating somewhere in this there's money behind it. So,
Oh my God. Well, they're saying he's actually has some connect. This is hearsay, entertainment purposes only.
of
He
course,
belongs to some group and he's been in Russia 3 times already.
right.
And
Well,
he had a list of people to hit.
I saw like 70 names. I've got the web, so he's got it. There's a web connection to him, so it like a dark web or the dark web, web of lies, or a connected web to him. So he's not. I don't think he's working alone. I think he's. I mean, obviously he's mentally deranged, but I think there's something he's been looking at on the dark web, or his ties and connections that he has. Mm.
So, and they did go to his wife's house and obtain passports and money and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Okay. Maybe
So,
that's where the money card is coming in.
so I get a sinking ship. I
Mm.
think that means he'll eventually get caught.
Yeah.
Look at
Going
this.
down.
Trains and transport. So he
Oh,
is figuring out a way. I don't see him
to
being
get
able to
around.
fly out of the country. Strategic planning. He's trying to
Oh
get the
yeah.
hell out of Dodge.
Oh yeah.
But what I want to know is, will he get caught? Because my psychic sense tells me if they do catch up with him well enough, he may, you know,
Yeah.
he may take himself out that he doesn't want to be taken. That's
Yeah.
what I'm
Well,
getting.
I've got the covering, he's covering his tracks. Yeah, so he's
Those
while he's
cards
on
are
the run,
excellent.
covering his tracks.
I do I have the investigation deck?
I don't think you do, but I've never seen you read that, but I think you need them. So
I think I
I,
need them. Those were
I will
just
send them to
singing.
you because they don't have to just be crime. They can read things like this.
Oh my God, the ABCD.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just telling the story of what's going on
Can you
there. So
ask him real quick? Will he actually be found?
will he
See,
be
I
found?
worry about him hurting others.
Well, he's got the list. He's got a list of names.
I know.
Let's see. Um, okay, so cannot see clearly. So let me just try and tap in to see what we can reveal about him. Let me just have a look. Okay, I'm going to change decks, but I'm going to show you what I've got here. So there's a heavy burdens that he's carrying and a mental conflict. So he's got
He's got,
mental.
you can tell about
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that's his mental conflicts that he's got going on there, and he's carrying some heavy burden. So I'm going to jump over to the other deck, which is the governance, because I want to have a play with this one. I haven't played with this one for a little while. Okay, will he be found?
Will
Will
he
he
be
be found?
stopped, basically?
Will he stop?
Yeah.
Mm. Let's just hope they do catch him before. But he is covering his tracks by the looks of the cards on the table there.
Yeah.
I think he's got the intention. His intention is there. That's what I mean. I hope that he does
To
get found
continue with
because
what he continue with the.
yeah, because I don't
See,
think
I just did the Morgan Greer, and this means yes, they'll catch him within a month.
so. He's making strategic plans, strategic
Yeah.
moves. So he's thinking about his next move. So that doesn't to me sound like he's stopping.
Or he doesn't, but there's an issue with getting what he needs or guns or money or something. See, I don't trust the FBI or anybody with this administration.
Okay. Yeah, and I've got to say, I didn't mention I am not familiar. I've got to say, I'm not familiar with too much. We see a little bit on our news of what's going on. I know we've heard this story on our news, and we see the LA riots on our news. But
Oh,
when you
gosh.
mention people's names, I draw a blank. I just, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not sure who you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Which is
Yeah.
even better because you're coming in cold turkey.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So now money again, he's got issues with money, retaining money or money. So there's these two cards are indicating that there might be issues with getting money, retaining money, or issues around to that. And then I've got something being classified. And it's funny that card fell out when you were talking about the FBI.
Yeah.
Classified information fell out as you were talking about it. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe they know something that they're
Could
not
be.
revealing.
Well, if it's a connection to Russia, somebody's trying to help them or stop
Oh
them.
yeah. Well, and somebody's paying for something because the money card keeps coming out around him. So I'm just going to pull.
Just ask, will we catch up to him?
Will we catch him? So back to the crime deck.
There we go.
And can you just tell me his name again? Do you have his name there?
Yeah, it is Vance Luther Bolter. Vance Luther Bolter. And can you imagine walking into someone's home and shooting at their daughter and shooting at their dog?
What kind of person does that?
That you know, I don't know if you know her, but what's her name? The secretary of something. The one Christy Gnomes, she does that. She kills puppies when she's mad at them.
Oh my God.
And wrote it in
I
a book and thought everybody would be impressed. She shot her puppy in the head because she
I
was frustrated because she
know.
couldn't train it well.
Oh God, I've got Frenchies and
Oh,
I'm I'm
those are your
just I'm
babies.
they are my babies. They are my kids are grown, so my Frenchies are my babies. So I just couldn't imagine. Oh, couldn't imagine somebody that could do that to an animal.
I
Oh,
know they're so innocent and they love us so much.
yeah, they do. They do. Okay, so I've got he's really concerned about his own safety because I've got the safety card on the table. It says I am safe now, but when this card comes out, it means somebody's concerned about their safety. So maybe he's concerned that if they catch up with him, they're going to take him out. Somebody else will take him out.
Oh, oh, and Russia's known to take someone out if they've done the job.
Mm. Oh, and they're looking for him. Please
Yep,
find me. Looking for him.
yep.
So maybe he's got, yeah, maybe he has others looking for him as well.
I think they found his stuff, like that cowboy hat and stuff he was wearing. They found it somewhere.
Okay, I saw a clip with a cowboy hat. I didn't actually know that's what they were talking about, but yeah, because I'm usually while I'm listening to the news, drinking coffee and on YouTube. So
Yeah.
yeah, I kind of watch, but not intently. Checking the timing, so a matter of time come out.
Okay.
And again, well-funded operation has come out once again. So I think he's concerned about I think he's concerned about getting who's going to find him
Right.
first.
Right.
Okay. Oh, okay. And two cards really. Now the death card in this is the tarot. as most tarot card readers know, that the death card can indicate change. But in this deck, I've programmed this deck that when the death card comes out, it means death because it is a crime deck. So it means death, repeat offender death. So,
And that I tell you, and I was going to tell everybody on my show with Mel on Monday, I get a strong feeling, I may be totally wrong, not from the cards, just psychically, like it's either a shootout and
mm,
death by police or
mm,
self-induced.
yeah. And in a way, I'm hoping, I mean, death is awful no matter what way you look at it, who it is, but I'm hoping it is him rather than anybody else
Oh, I know. I
because it's
know.
sitting next to the repeat offender card, death
Ooh,
card
so
next to
he could
repeat
try to
offender.
get somebody else. Yeah.
Yeah. So if anything, he is a repeat offender. Has he done it? He's attempted more
I
than
don't
once.
know. I don't know. But you know what? What has he got to lose?
Exactly. And he
This
will
is the
continue.
problem that's coming up because, this is the United States, but if they start getting rid of people's health care and quality of life, if their children are dying because they won't inoculate them,
Yeah.
a lot of people are going to be in that frame of mind. What do I have to lose?
What exactly? What
I'm going
else
to
can they
tear
do?
it down.
How
It's
can they
like,
make a point? He's trying to make a point and
so you don't want people to be on edge like that.
no, no. And just the safety of, people that are just doing their job. I mean, I'm not political, but these people are doing a job. They're doing their job and they're being murdered for it. So, the insanity of that is just crazy.
It's so sad. So, I wanted to ask about Israel and Iran. Do you see any good news with that?
Okay, I'm going to the governance for that one because this one here is world
The good
events.
news about Donald Trump, he doesn't, what the one thing about him, he doesn't want war,
Okay, right,
but he has warned Iran. You
right.
touch a hair on the head of a United States shoulder, a
Yep,
soldier, we will
yep,
come at you full blast.
yep, yep.
Because
Which is,
remember when Kim Jong-un was giving him a bunch of crap and he just, everybody was so scared. He said, come on, Rocket Man. I dare you. I
yeah, I
double
do
dare you.
remember
And next
the
thing you
Rocket
know,
Man.
they're best friends.
Yeah. Yeah, this to the Israel, yeah, and it's
Yeah,
just
let's
sparked
see.
back up again. So we had peace talks a while back,
Well,
exchange of hostages.
Trump just can't get any peace talks going. He just doesn't have that ability. He couldn't get Ukraine. By the way, I've been predicting Ukraine is going to take out Russia for sure.
Right,
And I
right.
definitely see Putin going down, but that's a whole nother story. But I'm very curious, because I really feel Iran is in trouble.
Oh yeah, I did see in the predictions reading that I done for this month, it was
Yeah,
talking about drone strikes on infrastructure and power outages. So coming up for this month, and it's just happened with this.
it
I
just
saw
happened, even in
Yeah,
Tel
saw on
Aviv.
the news today. It was they took out, and I'm not sure which country, I'm so sorry, took out strike on infrastructure, energy grids or energy
Oh, that was
infrastructure.
Ukraine and Russia.
Was it?
Yeah, because
Oh,
he followed President Biden's advice when President Biden said, please don't take out Russia's infrastructure. Don't do it. So he listened to him, and then Putin turned around and did it to Ukraine. So
right.
then,
Okay.
so now Zelensky said to hell with it, and he took out all their stuff.
Okay. Wow. So that's
He
still,
works way better because unfortunately Putin goes for civilians, and that's
yeah,
just not, it's not infrastructure. Putin's
no.
going to go down. I'm not quite sure how, but that's going to happen. But I saw Netanyahu, but who, by the way, took off to Greece when all this was happening,
Oh, did he?
saying, Iran wants President Trump dead. They want President, and I thought, he's saying that to get President Trump irritated.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
even wrote because he put something on some social media. I said, hey, dude, I don't think that's the person they're looking at now.
Yeah.
I think it's you they
Oh,
want.
yes. Yes.
So do you see us coming to some? Because years ago, I saw Iran coming to a very peaceful state where women
Right.
could have their rights back again. And I remember the vision I got were women coming up from underground.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you
Yeah.
think about it, if they really do kind of wipe out whoever that's in there now running the ship, that gives the women the chance to come in and fight.
Yeah. Okay.
So
What have we
what do
got?
you speak?
Well, okay. So I've got, it's funny you're saying coming up from hiding. I've got some, the hiding and hidden information, but I've also got disappointing results at the moment. So there's
Okay.
still a bit more to come at the moment. Um, and I also see domestic priorities and bound by allegiances. So allegiances to other countries, or no, I don't know because we talked about a few different countries here. So bound by allegiances and having to think about their domestic priorities. So I don't know if with this we're talking about Ukraine or Iran because we as I was shuffling, we're talking about the both. So I'm going
Right.
to ask specifically,
Ask specifically.
yes, the Iran and Israel turmoil. I'm going to pop that disappointing result back in because that did come out for that. What do you see now? And sometimes it's a time frame too. So I do feel like there's a little bit to come with that. So maybe by the end of the year, do we see things getting improving for those
Okay.
nations?
Somebody's sick. Somebody's not doing well. I don't know who that is, but
So we're talking about the future. I've got the future there, shaping the future.
okay.
Somebody stepping down. Maybe they're sick.
Maybe the person's sick or
Yeah.
Pete Hedge. I think after that parade thing was so god awful, they're trying to act like 250,000 people showed. Oh my God, they said 8,000 total
Oh, is
showed.
that right? That's what
Yeah,
we were
showed at
getting.
his parade.
Okay, we were getting told massive numbers here as well, and we looked and we thought it doesn't look like that many.
No, it was 8,700 and something.
Right.
But they're
To me,
saying 5 to 8 million people showed all over the state. And you know, it just irks them
yeah. Oh yeah. That's
because
so
he's
big
not
at the
that
moment.
beloved right now. So, but he's not going
Yeah.
to change the way he does things. He's not stepping back and saying, why do the people not love me? He's not stepping up to the plate. So it's just going to keep this tit for tat back and forth.
Oh yeah. And so much tension and so many people upset.
Yes.
So yeah, like something, I mean, I don't know what's going on over there, but I see on our TV screens here the amount of people and unrest in your country that's going on. People are not happy.
Yes. Yes. But there was like a shooting in Utah at the march. There was some rough, that LAPD has gotten kind of weird. They really are roughhousing. I was very
Is
surprised.
Are they the ones that shot the reporter, our reporter?
Yes,
Yeah, I saw that. That's the
with the
news that I
rubber
watched.
bullet, and they shot another man, innocent man, civilian, caused
And
his
just,
testicle to be removed.
oh my God, turned around and just shot. I couldn't
And
believe
it's
it.
on pitch.
It's
And
on
you don't hear
screen.
anybody apologizing, do you?
No, no. So yeah, I don't know what's happening with her because she's a reporter on the news that I watch in the mornings.
Did she
So yeah,
leave or is she still there?
I haven't heard anything about it. They haven't talked about it. Media has gone silent on that. They're
Well,
showing
they're
us.
just not, it's funny. When they want to discuss something, it's out there, but when they don't want to discuss it,
That's right. That's right. And I think only certain things come out, so they don't tell
yeah,
us everything. So what are we up to? Yeah, stepping down,
stepping
um,
down.
shaping the future, stepping down, and also strategic moves in place.
Okay.
So I'm not sure which person that is stepping down. I don't know which country it is. We're talking about one of the two. So anything else by the
Okay.
end of the year?
I always see Zelensky doing fine. Always. Oh,
Okay,
you know they'd like to take Zelensky out, but he's protected. And let me tell you, the ETs, I don't know if you believe in ETs, but
I
I
do.
had it.
I love the weird stuff.
Okay, the
Yeah,
extraterrestrial talked to me one day, could see his face as clear as day. And he told me at that time that they have no desire to invade the earth, but we need to get a hold of ourselves and start taking care of this earth. But he said they cannot interfere with free will,
that's right. That's right.
but
Well, they
they can stop nuclear.
many years ago, over the missiles, they turned them off. So we were close to a war at the time, and they turned the missiles off. So I think they do come in when
Yes,
this
well,
stuff
I
is
know
active.
the big top generals were on Unsolved Mystery, the retired ones. It was
Yeah,
fantastic. They were actually able to cut off like 9 silos of nuclear weapons.
yeah,
And in order to do it manually, you have to have the code, which is separate for you can't just do all of you guys are out.
yeah. But
And
they do.
they thought Russia was doing it.
Yeah, yeah. It's amazing. There's something else out there.
They will stop any nuclear. And I have some friends that talked about what was happening in what was the one that the it exploded? What was the name? Chernobyl.
Oh yeah, in
Chernobyl.
yeah.
There was an actual picture in the Russian paper of a big ship
Mm.
over the top of the second one. There was one, two, three, over the top of the second one, sucking up the radiation.
Oh
And
my
they
God.
said, had it not done that, it would have been a
Would have
far
gone.
greater. Yeah.
It would have gone. So they were doing what they could. So they don't want to hurt the earth.
No,
They don't want explosions. They don't want nuclear war.
no. And they're
Yeah.
not out to kill us. We're out to kill them.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
here. They're living underground. They're living in the ocean.
Yeah. Well, I heard because I watched Ross Coulthard. He used to be a 60 Minutes journalist when I was growing up. He's now into all of this stuff, and
Mhm.
he was saying how there's shooting, or was it him, or it might have been Richard Greer, saying that they're shooting down alien crafts on purpose, and they've shot
Oh,
down a number of alien crafts.
yeah, like idiots.
Oh yeah, exactly,
Uh,
exactly.
are you talking about Richard Gere, the
Richard Greer, I think his
oh
name.
Greer,
Oh,
okay.
sorry, Stephen Greer. Richard
Steve. Oh,
Greer. That's the
Stephen Grill.
actor.
Yeah, he's
Stephen
good.
Greer. Yeah, I
He's
think
the
that's
ER
where
doctor.
yeah, I think that's where I saw that information.
Well, I saw a show that talked about in Vietnam, there was a bunch of soldiers that talked about this, that actually shot at UFOs. They were all over the place.
Mm.
And the UFO collected the bullets and shot them back.
Oh my God.
And there
Wow.
was a boat,
Amazing.
like some sort of boat, and it got shot by a missile. And when
Oh,
they found the missile, the parts of it to see who it belonged to, they thought maybe Russia. It was the United States missile.
oh wow. That's
So they'll
amazing.
take what you send at them, but they were able to shoot down some.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Crazy.
It's
Then there was
fascinating, but
and they're
they put
talking
up
about
with us.
people that they've got trained psychics, as in this. So this is a topic up our alley. They've got trained psychics that they're using to lure these crafts in through intention or whatever they're doing. I don't know. And this, I got this information from Ross Coulthart. He talks about this. There's a name for them. I'm not sure what that is, but they're
They're
psychics and
not the
they're
ones that see at a distance, or what do you call it?
remote viewers. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, these ones are trained to their psi something or other, but they're psychics and they can connect in with them and lure them in. And then I think they might be taking them out. So I
Wow.
think this is like I mean this is conspiracy, so it's not fact, but it's
Right, right.
yeah, but it's working with I don't know if it's military or what they're working, whoever is doing this, I don't know, but that's what they're
But what do you
saying.
mean take them out? Destroy them?
Bring them down, bring the crafts
What?
down. Yeah, this is what I've heard. It's conspiracy,
Yeah,
and I love a good conspiracy story.
me
But yeah,
too.
this is what they're saying. But there's
Remember
it's the
Unsolved Mysteries?
oh, I love it. I love that. Yeah, I raised on that stuff.
Yeah.
I used to read all the books and yeah, watch all the shows. But
I
yeah,
love
it's the military people that are coming forward, like retired military people,
and
and
saying, listen, this
we
is what
really
we witness, and
whistleblowers.
it's not crap, it's for real.
Yeah.
So listen, we've already 45 minutes. It flies
Oh,
by. Just should we do
wow.
like a little bit of a couple of cards for the week?
Yeah, that
Anything
sounds
we should
nice.
look out for?
That sounds nice. I think I might go to the personal predictions. That's kind of like my go-to for messages for people.
Tell us about the week.
So this deck, this personal prediction deck, when I was creating this, I was because I get obsessed when I'm creating, and I can just hours upon hours upon hours creating nonstop. And I thought I better take a break. So I got out and I went and bought lunch. So about 10-minute drive. I got out of the car because this is based on butterflies. You can see all the little monarch butterflies on here. I'm not lying. When I opened my door to get out and get lunch, there was a monarch butterfly sitting on the ground where I opened the door and got out. And I thought, oh, that's weird because I've just been crazily painting butterflies. So then
Yeah.
I get back home, went to have lunch, and I looked up on my window and there was a butterfly sitting in my window.
You
We have
don't see
butterflies.
monarchs around very much
We have a
anymore.
lot of, we have them here everywhere, but sitting on my window. And I thought, that's, thank you, Spirit, just letting me know that they were there.
Wow. Okay, so I did the predictions deck and I got a business, something with business tycoons. Could be some news about someone doing something in the like Microsoft or something. And a tsunami rising water. So we might have a bit of a storm coming in. And that can also mean tsunami as far as political information and stuff. And look at
Rising tide
this,
of people.
evidence of a scandal.
Ooh,
Hmm.
ooh, interesting.
Hmm. You heard it right here.
Mm.
What do you got?
Okay, so I've got for people, I'm going to read a little message for everybody, and then I'm just going to read a predictive message for the week. So for
Okay.
my personal message for everybody, I've got reach out if you need help. So if all of this stress and, and I just want to I've been feeling the energy because I'm all about energy and feeling energy. For a while there, I thought, energy was balancing out nicely between the light and the dark and getting a nice shift of energy. But recently, in the probably the last month, I don't know if it's all of the solar flares or what coming in, I've felt the energy being very heavy and
Hmm.
tipping the balance on a more negative scale. So, and then all of a sudden we've got wars, like more, I know the wars have always been there, but they've been a little bit quiet. And then everything's kind of escalating and
We're
more
getting a lot of
tension.
magnetic storms and
We
solar
do.
flares. My
We've just
phone will
had one.
just stop working out of the blue.
Yeah, and the Aura Australis, not the Aura Borealis, we've had reaching as far up as where I live. I live middle of the east coast of Australia, and we normally get the aurora lights down south, like Tasmania, Victoria. They've come right up to where I am, middle of east coast
Wow.
of Australia. So, and that's because of the solar flare activity. So, just the
Wow.
tension of the energy, and not everybody copes with that energy very well. So this card is just indicating for everybody out there if you're feeling like you need help to reach out,
Get help.
share
Yeah.
share your story with somebody else, share your feelings with somebody else, talk it out, and the brain fog and confusion. And I do think this card indicates as psychics how sometimes it's a little bit hard, I find, challenging to tap into the psychic energy when there's all that solar
Interruption.
flare. Solar flare energy. So this is you can see the cloud going around the top of
Hmm.
the head there, indicating that it gets um, entangled or messy or jumbled. It feels very polluted and it feels very heavy. So all that energy, that negative energy going on from what's going on in the world, but also from the solar flare activity, I think it sits very, very heavy when you're trying to tap into the field to get the reading. So that's the two cards that I got for everybody. And for the predictions for
Yeah.
coming up in the world
Just for the week.
for the week. I've got two cards. So somebody, oh, battle in a warship. So warship battle. So it can either be war, battle,
Well,
something about.
Iran was talking about protecting the strait that they run and they may hit something or a Russian ship or something.
And I just heard around Australia we've had, I don't know who owns it, but a carrier ship has just docked in Australian waters. Because here recently, about 2 months ago, we had the Chinese battleships cruising around the Australian coast, mapping
And
out our surveillance
they
underwater.
always
So,
do that. I never seen
oh,
anything like it. They are so nervy.
oh yeah, all the way down. And like our nothing was done, nothing was said. And then I've got some truth being revealed this week. Oh yeah,
Ooh,
truth, some
that's
kind
some
of truth being
scandal.
revealed.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'll tell you who don't put up with it. It's the Irish. Do you remember those Irish fishermen that wouldn't put up with Russians coming up there?
Right, I never heard that.
Oh
Wow.
my God, they got their boats out there. They said, you got to go through us. It was beautiful. I tell
Oh
you.
my God, that's awesome.
Yeah,
We need a
yeah.
bit more of that here in Australia, I think.
I love it. I love it.
Me
Oh,
too.
well, thank you so much. It's a
My
delight
pleasure.
meeting you.
Thank you
And
so much for having me.
To order your cards, they go to Trish, Trishe
Yep. They,
Jaimes
yep.
.com, and you can get there.
Oracles.com. Yeah. And I just want to shout out to all of your people. They're so beautiful. They're
Aren't
really
they cool?
beautiful. They are. They really are. I get emails from them. I get messages from them. I mean, lots of them are card readers. They buy a lot of decks. So,
Yes.
but they're beautiful people. And I just want to shout out to everyone and just say hi. And I'm
And
very
we're
grateful
really
for you
happy.
all.
And you were on somebody else's show, so somebody got a hold of you earlier. But I was when I saw that you were, it might have been Sherry or somebody,
Marina?
Marina. And I said, whoa, she's doing collabs. So that's when I asked you.
Yes. Brand new, brand new. I watched that interview with the collaboration with you and Marina, and I could
Uh-huh.
see you texting,
Yeah.
texting while you're on the show. And next minute, I get a text, "Will you come
Yeah.
on my show?" And I'm like, "Yes, I would love to." But I'm
Yes. Yes.
just branching out, just stepping out of my comfort zone and
Oh, that,
starting to mix with everybody, which is really beautiful. There's so many beautiful people around. So,
that was great.
and you've got
And
such
by the
beautiful
way,
energy.
blessings and love to the people of India that lost loved ones in
Oh, the
that plane
plane.
crash.
Oh,
Did you hear about my dream?
no, no.
Someone wrote me and said several months ago, you told all of us that you had a dream of a woman washing her clothes in the Indian River.
Oh,
And all of a sudden, this big Boeing came down and crashed into the water.
mm, oh,
And out of the water came a black hole. Well, there
okay.
was only one survivor, which is interesting.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
totally for if these people, these wonderful people that watch my show don't tell me what I read, I couldn't tell you if I predicted it or not.
Exactly. You forget. It comes in and it goes out and you just forget.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's excellent. And I think your cards are excellent.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you
Thank
love
you,
them, but
honey. So we'll
yeah.
catch you on the other side for sure.
Thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you,
you, you
everybody.
guys. Bye.